I'm going to be happy about something for once. Not just happy about Governor Walz, but happy about what it could mean for finally changing U.S. policy when it comes to Israel and Gaza. I don't know in terms of a ceasefire. Like I said, we needed a ceasefire 9 months ago. And I wish that Kamala Harris were president now. I'm with the right. I think Joe Biden should just step down and Kamala Harris should just be president right now. But there are some really heartening things that that Tim Walz has said, specifically about like the ceasefire and uncommitted voters. But this week, because I have to cue this up. Before I talk about that, I just want to name that, like, yes, we've had these massive calls, right? Black women for Kamala, white dudes for Kamala. A lot of it is identity based. Some of it's tongue in cheek. Some of it's not. I don't care wherever you stand on that. But what I will say is that this has been a week with other mass calls, specifically around how we pressure Kamala Harris when it comes to stopping a genocide abroad. And those are the calls that I'm the most interested in, and they're being organized by people who I respect deeply, who are in this, who are not sitting on the sidelines. So that's the Uncommitted movement. It's Not Another Bomb, Kamala. That's sort of like they've launched Not Another Bomb, and the new ask is less ceasefire and it's more arms embargo. No more weapons to Israel. That is how you actually stop this ongoing genocide and onslaught. And those calls have been incredible. And one of those people who was on the call, his name is Abbas Alawi, and he is the co-founder of the Uncommitted movement. Remember, Uncommitted, which got tens of thousands of votes in multiple states, including swing states, including Minnesota. And we'll talk about Walz in a second. And here he is on this call explaining where he stands. This is a call that was progressives for Kamala. So the ask is still, we're organizing to defeat Donald Trump and elect Kamala Harris. But listen to how he pitches this. This is just a small portion of his talk that day. And hopefully we can get him on the show soon.
Democratic voters, including in key swing states for whom the need for a more humane Gaza policy is a top issue. As a progressive, I'm carrying certain tensions and contradictions. I'm asking us to hold them together. I was a congressional staffer in the Capitol on January 6th. So for that reason and a million others, the danger of Donald Trump and his fascism is not theoretical to me. We have to beat Trump in November. I also have family living under the bombs in South Lebanon right now, bombs that I survived as a child. And I do not see the humanity of children being killed en masse in Gaza as any different than my own. So as a delegate, I'm urging us to listen to the over 100,000 voters in Michigan who voted uncommitted to see a new approach to Gaza policy, who are excited to see Vice President Harris as our candidate and hope that means she will meaningfully engage with the central demand of an anti-war movement that has animated voters across the country. That demand is for an arms embargo that saves lives. That demand is for not another bomb. That demand is for us to pivot together to making clear that Trump's fascism and Netanyahu's are one and the same, and we have a responsibility to forcefully oppose both. That demand is a reasonable one for our party to stop supporting the killing of our family members. So I believe that together we will ensure that Vice President Harris wins big and blocks Trump and his white supremacist posse from ever getting anywhere near the Oval Office again. To do that, our strong hope is that she will be responsive to Uncommitted's request to meet and to work towards unity at the DNC so that we can turn to a new, more humane page on Gaza policy.
Okay, that signer is crushing it. If you're just listening, the signer at Progressives for Harris was like just amazing. And I love that you have to spell out Trump's entire name when you sign rather than just doing the jerk off symbol. It's incredible that we're still doing that. But there he was, again, co-founder of the Uncommitted movement. Uncommitted's plan at this point is to bring delegates, because there are delegates from states like Walz's Minnesota, to the DNC and have the Democratic Party adopt a platform of tempering aid, basically stop selling weapons to Israel. Now, we will see. There will be pressure, but don't get it twisted. The nomination of Walz in this role is absolutely a signal to progressives, and specifically anti-war and anti-genocide progressives. And just to put a button on it, this is the way that Governor Walz was speaking about that uncommitted vote. Remember what happened. Everyone was freaking out. Everyone was mad that how dare these voters vote uncommitted. They're lazy. They're crazy, right? Like they want Trump to win. Here was the governor in a state that 40,000 people, almost 20% of the electorate said uncommitted. This is how he pitched it, and listen to how different it is.
40,000 votes right now, 20% of the vote going to uncommitted. And we've seen that already in this primary in Michigan. What message are voters in your state trying to send to President Biden? And what do you want to see President Biden do in response?
Yeah, look, they're engaged. We're really proud in Minnesota. Civic responsibility. We have some of the highest voter turnouts. These are voters that are deeply concerned, as we all are. The situation in Gaza is intolerable. And I think trying to find a solution, a lasting two-state solution, certainly the president's move towards humanitarian aid and asking us to get to a ceasefire, that's what they're asking to be heard. And that's what they should be doing. We've gone through this before, and we know that now we make sure we've got 8 months. We start bringing these folks back in. We listen to what they're saying. That's a healthy thing that's happening here. But I would note that that the former president lost twice as many votes here in Minnesota to Nikki Haley. And I've seen some of these exit polls out of North Carolina and others. 80% of folks said they're not voting for him who voted for Nikki Haley. We'll get these folks back. I think it's take them seriously. Their message is clear that they think this is an intolerable situation and that we can do more. And I think the president's hearing that.
Well, I agree with almost everything he said. Is the president hearing that? Not sure he's hearing anything, truly. But there he was, one of the only governors who stood by demonstrators, protesters saying, we hear you. We've got to listen to them. We've got to take them seriously. Other outside of squad members, point to especially governors who've taken this seriously versus governors who've like Gavin Newsom here in California, who are like, let's send in the cops, more cops on campuses to brutalize UCLA students. So this is good on Gaza. It is on us to keep pushing. And I'm so grateful to the Uncommitted movement for getting us someone like Walz. I'm so grateful for those who continue to have hope. And I'm so grateful that we can push this issue because it is not going anywhere. It should be the linchpin around which we organize. It should be a litmus test. We should bring our dollars back from funneling this bloodshed and this horror. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.